Well, thank you, and welcome to Evenings with the Songwriter. My name is Fletcher Clark, and we've been doing this on the last Tuesday of the month for, gosh, this is our 7th season to doing it the last Tuesday of the month. So thank you and welcome. Glad you came to join us. Would you please welcome my guest, McMorrow.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm glad I'm not here alone. The 5 a.m. freight rumbles through. Hello. She often greets me before shadows do. She don't slow down. Thank you. That's the train going around the bend in the distance.
When you wrote that?
This is down by Manchac and Slaughter, and the freight train would go past all day and, well, all night as well, practically, you know. But I got used to it, and it felt like it was saying hello to me.
When we were talking a little while ago, you said that for the longest time, the only songs you did play were songs that you'd written.
This is all an accident, me being up here and performing for you, because this
There are no accidents.
It's a happy accident, because I was a visual artist. I played guitar, but it wasn't for people to hear, it was just for me. I would sing it to myself. I wasn't a singer. I didn't think of myself as a singer, no way. I dreamed that maybe one day somebody would record one of my songs. That's how it started. But if I had thought that maybe I'd be singing in front of people, I might have quit. I needed to trick myself. Sometimes we have to trick ourselves, right? We have to unconsciously do things. Otherwise, you wouldn't leave the house.
Do you do it and it's done, or do you keep coming back to it?
Okay, now that's a question. All right. Well, sometimes there's a few songs that I've written that came out and they were done. But I've got songs, and I'm going to share some with you tonight, that I started 15 years ago. I thought they were finished at the time. You always think they're finished.
What is the oldest song that you've written that's still actively in your repertoire when you perform out? And will you do it?
I will, because it's just come back into my repertoire.
Oh, even better.
Today, this will be the first.
Perfect place.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Whew.
It's a here and now
I've got
thing.
some cheat sheets, because this is the one that, well, there's a few of them, but this particular one I wrote 50, yeah.
Let me get it for you.
That's
I should have brought a music stand for you, but I didn't.
Yeah, or even, well, I mean, I want to.
Oh, it's multiple.
Just a few, there's a few things that I might forget.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right, I wrote this 15 years ago in Ireland, and it was finished. And I mean, I really liked the version, but when I came to Austin, there's a really, really, really good songwriter that I admired, and when he heard it, let me just briefly tell you, it's about an old woman in a bar, and she's dying in the song, and as she's dying, her life is flashing before her eyes. All right, so that's the song. And so when this guy heard it, he was a really good songwriter, he said, so what? I don't really connect with her. I don't really care that she died. And I don't really like this song. And I was devastated. You gotta be, you gotta have a thick skin. What? You don't like my song? But I thought about it and I thought, well, okay, he's right. He's right. For some reason, I've written it in such a way that you don't connect with it. So there's since 2, 3, 4, 5 versions. Sometimes you've got to really, you can't be precious with your songs, otherwise you'd never change them. You'd never find out how they're really meant to be. You should never give a really, really long introduction to a song, because people are expecting way too much. There's an old woman sitting alone down the end of crowded McMorrow's bar. But in her mind she's a young girl dropped off at the fair in Dad's car. Joe Duffy wins her third prize, a strong boy for his size, in love with Frida May. Back at the bar, her beer has gotten warm, but she's way back in time when Joe holds a ring to the light just to prove that it shines. They meet at night by the pool. She's dressed in the $2 jewel, but back at the bar, it's closing time. Lights flash bright and then they dim. Last call, orders in. Close the blinds, it's almost time to go. The barman asks her, don't you feel well? She says, I do. She's getting married to Joe in his one suit that looks almost new. They fix up a tiny little shack, the one past the railroad tracks, with a little bar. Lights flash bright and then they dim. Last call, orders in. Close the blinds, it's time to go home.
Most songwriters say that a song is always open to coming back to it and refinement or changing, that it can evolve in and of itself, that the context in which it was originally written may no longer be relevant. Maybe there's a whole new vocabulary, a whole new imagery that's available to you in a song. And other guests I've had will say, I write it, it's done, it's over, I put it away, I go on to the next thing, I never look at it a second time.
Wow.
So, I know. I don't relate to that either, but I know that's true for some people.
See, I drive my mom crazy because she loves that I'm songwriting. She never thought that I would be able to do something like this when I was younger, because I couldn't talk in front of just a few people in a classroom or something. I don't have children. She collects my songs like they're her grandchildren. So I will send over a song and she'll love it, but then I'll change it. And she'll say, what? No. What happened to the tree? There was an oak tree and it was in the backyard. Is it gone? Did you chop it down?
Oh, do you have any songs, or have you ever had the experience of you had that song, it resonated for you, it was a good song, you ran it to the flagpole and nobody saluted?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're generally right.
So you abandoned the song?
If I'm the only one that likes the song and everyone else doesn't, they're right. And I'm wrong.
Right.
Simple as that.
If you're in the communication business and nobody wants to hear what you have to say, that's pretty much true.
That's the point of singing these songs, is to connect. It's not so that I can sit in a room by myself and think that wow, this is cool. It's to connect. And if it doesn't connect, well then, it didn't work. That's like if you turn on if the car doesn't get you there, it doesn't matter how good it is, and you've worked on it. But I've worked on this car for so long and it's finished. What do you mean you don't like it? Well, it doesn't get me there. Yeah. I don't care how long you've worked on it. Don't take it so personally.
Other things. So, what's the song that really gets to people?
Hanging on a Nail. It's the title track of. I'm gonna take this thing off. I feel like I'm in a car accident or something. It's that car that I've been working on for a long time. Um, that's the one that I think.
Well, cool. Let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
Which CD is that?
That's the square one.
The square one. There you go. Thank you, Richard.
Hey. Oh no.
You want him to play? Is that what you were getting ready to think?
No, yeah,
It's okay with me if you want.
no,
You
yeah.
want what?
I told him I wasn't going to do this. Just for this one. I mean, I'm sorry. I just thought, because this is the other thing I was thinking. I just told them that this is the song this is the song. But I thought, but maybe it's the mandolin that does it. Without the mandolin, it's nothing. The hat is hanging on the nail. The nail is banged into the wall. The wall is holding up the house where you were born. The house is resting on the land. The land goes down to the road. The road leads you to the town. The town where you were born. You are not alone. You're not so far. Though it may seem so from where you are, you're not alone. The town is nestled in a valley. The valley becomes the hills. The hills stretch across the country. The country where you were born. The country adjoins other countries. Those countries encircled by the sea. The sea wraps around the world where you were born. You are not alone. You're not so far. Though it may seem so from where you are, you're not alone. The world is floating out in space. The space reaching for the stars. And the stars are of the universe. The universe where you were born. You are not alone. Irish. That's just Irish. I mean, it was written in Ireland.
Had you had any kind of involvement or interest in Gaelic music before you were in Ireland?
Yeah, I was, but I mean, not hugely. And when I first arrived, I remember I heard the music. I thought it was great. And then they did another tune. I thought, oh, that's great. And then another one, and I just thought they sounded the same. It's an acquired. You hear the intricacy. That's it. You need an R. I put the R in the wrong place. It's really important where you put the letter. It seems. Intricacies of the music, you know, and then you start to realize there's different variations even in as you're going around. It is fantastic.
In Irish lyrics, anyway, I don't know Ireland, but I know the lyrics pretty well. There's an awful lot of yada da 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 da.
Yes, they're fantastic.
And they'll tell you about the thing that went.
That's exactly it.
And a lot of it's in the rhythm.
It is, which is what I found in Mexico. I just came back from Mexico, and it's the same thing.
Yes.
I tried writing a Spanish song. It's fantastic. But I know that it'll help me learn Spanish if I do that. I tried, and I realized, wow, it's going to be tough to get because, you know, you'll put the emphasis on the right syllable, because otherwise people won't know what you're saying. And it's really, really important. And I think speaking of songwriting, that's one of the problems with new songwriters, is they try and kind of cram in the words that they want. Oh, I need that word in there, and then you cram it in, you know, like that. There's no wall around this town, no rules to keep you down, no century and no game, no time to wait, but it's hard to leave. It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave a place that seems so real. It's hard to leave. I'm gonna find it hard to leave. I'm gonna find it hard to leave. I'm gonna find it hard to leave
To the person who traveled the farthest to get here, who do you think you are? Where'd you come from? You win. Okay, you get to come down here and take.
That's the right answer.
You get to come down here and take your choice of either of these two CDs or this Prince of the
No,
World.
that's your collection right there.
Oh, that she gets the whole thing?
Yeah, she gets the whole
Oh, well, that's good. You get the whole thing. Cool. Yay, we have a winner. Sorry, I should have done that earlier.
No, that's all right. Shut up.
Cool. What's the latest thing you've written?
I haven't.
Anything brand new?
I haven't written too much because there's been a massive change in my life. I walked out of the bedroom into the kitchen, and Richard was standing there, and I said, Richard, just tell me if you think I'm crazy. I've got this crazy idea in my head. I'm thinking I'm going to be a teacher. And he stopped, and he thought for about 12 seconds. And he looked back and said, I don't think that's a crazy idea at all. I think that's a great idea. I said, okay, great. because I was reading a book by Frank McCourt called Teacher Man. It's really fantastic. And he had all these stories about being a teacher. And I thought, I want stories like that. I want to have something to talk about that's different than what I'm doing. And so I'm going to be a substitute teacher, damn it. And I looked into it, and they didn't get paid very much. And they had to wake up real early. And I thought, what? And my eyes just glanced on the number that teachers make. And people say teachers don't make very much. But for me, I feel rich. I mean, it's way more than I've ever made. So anyway, I didn't want the best course. I wanted the fastest course. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher now. I didn't want to wait any longer. I wanted those stories, and boy, do I have stories. Some of them I don't want. So I'm a special education teacher, and it's the job I want now. I don't want to be an art teacher. This is a lot more meaningful. Anyway, what's that got to do with something? Yeah, but I have no time. I have no time. I have no time to sleep. I eat standing up. When I do eat, I mean, I tell you, it's incredible. I work on the weekends. I work at night. I work in my dreams. I don't stop. It's crazy, but I'm doing the right thing, and I'll figure it out somehow. So that's that. Any questions?
Yeah, well, so do you have a notebook where you keep scraps and fragments? And...
I do, but I don't have time to put anything in it. I'm serious.
Give us, I don't think, your songs are not consciously, well, they're not consciously sad. Is there something that you wrote from a very sad place that you...
Well, I can sing you a sad song. Do you want me to sing you a sad song?
Yeah.
He did not give in.
That's
Thank you.
yeah. So how about something that's jubilant?
How about something funny?
Okay, I'll go for humorous.
Okay. Let's try this one. I was house sitting. This is in Ireland. I was house sitting in the country. And I was really happy about this because I was going to get a lot of writing done, songwriting done. It was going to be quiet. In the country, right? It's going to be quiet. Yeah? Well, they had a rooster. Well, but that's okay, because roosters, I've seen them in the movies. They crow at, like, I think it's 6 a.m. and the sun's coming up. You see that sunrise, you know? And then you don't see them in the rest of the movie. So, I mean, they've never really worried me until I house sat in the country. Yeah, until I house sat in the country and they had a rooster and it wouldn't shut up all day long, all night. Are you kidding me? So I wrote a song called Rooster Stew. And it goes like this. You wake me early in the morning, sometimes at about 2:30. Rejuvenating unconsciousness has flown to Timbuktu. All my prayers and meditations I've gathered up and flushed down the loo. You wake me up with your penetrating cock-a-doodle-doo. I pull my hair out like I'm crazy, run around like a delirious do, then dive under the down feathers and toss the whole night through. And when I get up in the afternoon, sometimes at about 2:30, I look like something the cat dragged in, and it's all because of you. Cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. All you seem to doodle-doodle-doo all day is cock-a-doodle-doo. You manage to avoid all danger, escape my catapulting shoe, duck and dive as I run around like a chicken cut in two. You shake your feathers in a cocky way, 'cause you've dodged every shoe I threw. You chuckle waffle like I'm one big joke, and then you cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh, you seem to doodle-doodle-doo all day, cock-a-doodle-doo. Nothing at all could compensate for your horrible hullabaloo. Not even your girlfriend's eggs, 'cause you've fertilized a few. I thank the Lord that I'm an omnivore, 'cause I now fancy rooster stew. And now I'm contemplating bird murder, and it's all because of you. Cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh, you seem to doodle-doodle-doo all day. It's cock-a-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. You say cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh, you seem to doodle-doodle-doo all day. It's cock-a-doodle-doo. So no matter how old you get, the days that you're in are always they're going to be the good old days that you're going to look back on. We're going to be looking back on these days. And so these are the good old days. We're living them right now. And no, forget it. Take a photograph, hang it on the wall for someday to recall how good it was back when we
so much. My friend, welcome to Aurora.